Today, in a way, receive a familiar Mass. I imagine most of us here tonight have been to hundreds of Masses, but in some way we see it magnified so that the essentials might be more convincingly, more nourishingly in our minds and hearts. And every Mass we've been to always has three key elements. There's sacrifice, there's communion, and there's adoration. Every Mass. But tonight we'll see that, as it were, magnified. And of course, these are deep matters. Sometimes it's best to move to the unknown from the known. So let's take sacrifice. The sacrifice of the Mass. We can generalize and say that our meals tend to consist of meat or fish and vegetables. Now, the meat, the lamb, the cow, whatever, the fish, the cod, the herring, whatever, the vegetables, carrots, cabbages, whatever, were all once living, and they gave their lives for us. Unless those animals, those fish, those vegetables had given their lives, we wouldn't be alive. No food, no life. So the idea then, in its basics, is there. Living things have given their lives for our life. Now, when we come to Jesus Christ and the sacrifice of a Mass, there is a similar kind of logic up to a point, because the sacrifice of Jesus Christ was complete, was faultless, was an act of love, and was free, unlike what's on our plates. But the logic is the same, life for life. Now, of course, we're stretching language, as always, in saying that what we eat gave its life for us. It was taken, it wasn't given. Unlike with Jesus Christ, the refrain is always what he freely chose. When the hour had come, what was in his mind? And chiefly that was love and freedom and self-offering to his Father for our sakes. So that's what we mean by the sacrifice of the Mass. Every Mass we've ever been to and will ever go to. And tonight, in the context of the Triduum, of Good Friday, of all this language of betrayal and being taken away, and the blood on the lintel, and so on, magnifies it, but it's always there. So the first element of Mass, of any Mass, is the holy sacrifice of Jesus Christ. The second is communion. The second element of the sacrament of the Eucharist is communion. Of course, we can eat on our own, and sometimes we have to. But generally, for us human beings, taking in food means a meal. And a meal is more than putting food in our stomachs. It requires other people. Otherwise, it's not a meal, it's food. So communion then has this depth, and this is crucial to understanding the church we are in. Yes, there will be organization, there'll be divisions of tasks, there'll be ministries, but chiefly there's union with Jesus Christ. That's what the basis of our communion is. And so the sacrament of the Eucharist for us, as well as sacrifice of Jesus Christ, the holy sacrifice of the Mass, is partaking of Holy Communion. And like we're told, one of the many images, like branches are one plant because there's one trunk. And that's us and Jesus Christ. We're not a convergence of similar ideals, similar hopes and plans. We belong in Jesus Christ. Now, curiously enough, Jesus only once compares himself to an animal. I won't disturb your sleep by asking you which animal that was. It's a hen. It's the only animal Jesus says he is like, a hen, a chicken with chicks. And he's looking at Jerusalem. Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, how, like a hen, I wanted to shelter your chicks under my wings, but you would not come. So communion, then, must include being attached to Jesus Christ. That's what gives us our unity. That's true of every Mass at which we go to communion. What of adoration? Adoration, and we'll see it tonight in the altar of repose, there on your right as you look, is acknowledging reverently the majesty of what's going on in such a homely way, under the appearances of bread and wine, under the appearance of a meal. Adoration, because God is present. And only God is adored. God, and of course, the Son of God, made man, Jesus Christ. No saint is adored. Our Lady is not adored. Only God is. And so it's momentous, and perhaps familiarity has made us less keenly aware of just how much of immensity, of glory, of love, of goodness has come among us. And that's enough to bring us to our knees, and it literally will, in adoration.